Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All
It's
right, all
episode
right.
38, right? Sorry, bro.
Yeah. It's okay. This is episode 38. All right. All right. Welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast, TGR 905, coming at you live. It's Rod Guy. I'm here with Jay Rod.
What up?
I'm here with Jay Billy.
Wagwan.
I am here with Sammy EPIC, Little
Yo,
Laggy. And I'm here with Nico Suave, no punchline for the Zoomcasts.
Jeez.
This is TGR mug. You ain't got the TGR mug no more?
No, but what I do have, actually, just in stock is crazy. TGR pens, bro. TGR pens.
Jeez, where's your pens at, bro? They're 905, bro.
It's only $29.99.
Plus tax and shipping delivery, fam.
Bro, that's a fair price for a pen.
Shipping and handling is like $49.99.
You know it's a
Easily,
great pen
bro.
if
Easily.
it costs that much.
Yeah.
Run that.
So what up? What up to the Mandam, Sammy out in Orangeville.
Where the internet shit be.
The internet is slow and it's hella dark outside.
Deadly combination of things.
Oh,
How
man.
you guys been since the last episode, last week?
Gucci, bro. Just, work.
J-Rod. Oh, sorry, bro.
I'm good. I'm cold. Well, I'm off of quarantine.
Okay.
Guy's not quarantining.
Has it been 2 weeks, bro? Actually, don't answer that question. Don't answer that question.
It's been quite some time.
I've been
It's been quite some time.
Quite some time.
Well, no, you
But
said
like-
you said you started feeling symptoms on what, the 3rd of January? What is it now?
Yeah,
It's the
second of
14th.
January.
Yeah.
The second.
Oh, yeah, so like
so
you got your taste back and your smell.
Yeah, my taste came back like 2 days ago. And everything is good now.
This guy probably munched out so hard, bro.
So hard. I would have went off.
I ate stuff just to eat. I ate just to eat. Like,
yeah.
Let me try this. I don't even want this, but I need this. I get it.
Yeah, I rate it.
I read it.
Yeah, I
Bro,
can't hear
like-
you.
You know, I wonder if our audience, remember we said to everyone that like we're gonna come out with way more Zoomcasts and all that stuff.
yeah.
This is us delivering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Delivery.
What they about now?
Remember we talked about momentum and consistency last episode? So yeah.
Exactly.
Actually, I know 2020 is behind us and it's all said and done, whatever. But I just wanted to make some final statements because I was pondering this earlier. And I was like, yo, you know how people are talking about like, fuck 2020 is canceled or like
Yeah.
a Netflix special, whatever it's called. I just remember seeing 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, this is speaking on my behalf, but I know a lot of people could relate, like someone like Sammy. But honestly, 2020 was probably one of the best years
Oh, for sure.
for myself. And I'm sure some of you can relate.
Yeah.
In terms of like one of the best years in a while. It's just like it gave me the opportunity to approach things so differently. It really showed how like how you can adapt to the changing situation and the tides. And it was sort of an awakening for myself and a lot of people, right?
Yeah. 100%.
You know? So
I feel that.
it's like, yeah, we're not that safe. Things aren't that certain. So it allowed us to prepare for certain things in the future.
I think the kind of lack of social life and just kind of, essentially being forced to stay put forced a lot of people to focus on self-development, things that they have been telling themselves, but they haven't given enough time to because, we all know this, if you want to go out because you want to go out or you want to go chill with your friends, that takes up a lot of time. But when you free up all that time, you can only spend so much time consuming fucking, video games and movies and shit. Mm-hmm. At a certain point, you're forced to, like, when you reflect on these things about your life, you're like, I have this time to do this. I might as well fucking do it. And you just
Yeah.
It all boils down to mentality at the end of the day, right?
exactly. Perspective, mentality, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, well, like also, like we were more fortunate compared to a lot of other people, as mentioned last week. But I don't know. Yeah, it was actually a really good year, man.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit stressful, but that was like everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone had that.
Eye openers for a lot of people
Yeah,
too.
Right.
no year
Mm.
comes stress free, right?
It's true. No year does come stress free, but
Especially when you're trying to make it.
yeah,
It's a wave.
exactly. But I know Sammy's been working on a side project about this sort of thing, about self-development, improvement.
Yeah.
Lost and Found podcast, right?
Yes, sir.
You wanna,
It has to do with like just like mental, physical health, just personal growth, really, relationships and all. Just want to get everyone's perspective on just how life is going and how you're really adapting to just building and moving forward, right?
so where'd you get just briefly, where'd you get the inspiration to pursue a project like this?
Honestly, watching you guys listen to other podcasts, and just the fact that I feel like people need an outlet to just express themselves at the end of the day, man.
Yeah, and we touched base on that like last episode, but I completely agree. So are you focusing more on like solo episodes, or are you trying to get guests on?
I want mainly guests, just because like I don't want it to just be about me per se. I want it to be about like the community as a whole, right? Because everyone's going through this situation together. So why not let everyone put their input into it as well?
Right.
And I feel like I have a lot of interesting people that I know and I associate with. So might as well put them on too.
Yeah, completely agree.
Sure.
So what's the IG?
It's lost period X period found, and then podcast period podcast. Yeah, it's very new. I don't have anything up there yet, but
it's all good. You gotta start somewhere. When are we expecting some episodes to come out?
I was hoping like February. I can start getting more guests in and record and stuff for that, but because of the whole situation now where we're going to another kind of lockdown, right? I'm gonna try to tread lightly and possibly get some Zoom interviews going and stuff like that.
Some Zoomers.
Some Zooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sounds good, man. I like the name of it too. I mean, it really fits. I think in with your personality as well, because kind of it really gives me the vibe of kind of your roots. In that when I think of Lost and Found, I think of you and you telling me stories of you when you had the stew downtown. You would go to record shops, right? And it kind of gives me that whole like Pete Rock kind of vibe, you know what I mean? And then obviously it leads to the whole idea of self-development, because in order to develop, you have to get sort of lost, I guess, so to speak. You know what I mean? You have to hit a certain point where you need to make a change and turn things up, right? So, yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited to check it out. I'm excited
That's gonna be dope.
to give it a.
I wanted to be very lighthearted too. That's why I kind of I chose Lost and Found, because like I didn't want it to be overly serious, but at the same time still like kind of elementary, but still in the serious kind of aspect.
Yeah.
No, I'm really digging the name as well. It sort of puts you into that mind frame already when you
Appreciate you
say
guys,
it.
man.
It's just like you already kind of know what the podcast is going to be about.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the first
I
episode.
appreciate you guys, man.
Hopefully people feel that way about Green Room podcast. I don't know. They're pretty generous.
Yo, I love the
905.
Green Room, bro. I've been promoting that motherfucker like it's mine, baby.
Much respect. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, for sure. And we're definitely gonna. I mean, you're part of the podcast, bro. You're part of the Green Room. Like, I mean, what was your first appearance? Like episode 2? Like
Episode 2.
You've been in it since since the beginning. So, and we love having you on it. So it all just makes sense.
I really appreciate that too, because I feel like you guys are family regardless, right? So it goes full circle.
Yeah, man, you're part of the TGR family for sure.
Yeah, man. Just to make it everything like official type of thing, just send each of us $100 every 2 weeks,
or one Bitcoin if you have it.
One Bitcoin a week,
and we'll just go from there. So, unless you want to send it right now, we can just cut you off.
You deal it one time, you're good to go.
This podcast is brought to you by Bitcoin.
Transfer? You guys take WeTransfer?
Yo.
Yeah, why not?
Speaking of like the whole situation with Zoom podcasts and all that, considering we're still in a lockdown and it's 2 weeks into the new year, 2021.
Crazy.
And hopefully we're trying to push out more content like this. So let us know what y'all think. But as of the 13th, I think it was, of January, there was an official stay-at-home order issued to Ontarians.
Yeah, Doug Ford's cheese.
Big man. Big man.
That's heat cheese, bro.
Yo, fam, stay home.
He gets his pockets money, bro. All them politicians taking trips to the fucking Bahamas and shit.
Yo, practice what you preach, fam, before you be doing it, man.
Don't you know what? That's what politicians do. Say it as I do, not as.
It's always
As I say it, not as I do.
Yes, thank you. You almost made me look like a fucking idiot on TGR podcast. So yeah, it's kind of weird because like the rules are so ambiguous. Like nobody really understands what they're allowed or not allowed to do. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you can't go
You're
for
wishy-washy with it.
You can't be outside unless it's for like exercises or walking a dog or some shit. Like the stupidest shit. Anyway, it's pretty dumb, man. And I hate to bring up this whole situation because it's pretty negative, man. Even though we were talking about how like 2020 was a beneficial year in terms of growth.
Yeah. A lot of people got fucked.
If you look at like the overall picture of what it's doing to the masses, it's not a good thing. And I feel like everybody else sees that as well. But
100%.
Yeah. It's weird because I wanted to mention something about it, but I forgot. So
yeah, it's pretty wild though.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
Oh, we got that like Amber Alert. So
it was today in the morning.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that noise? I was just getting bummy. I'm like, is someone trying to rob me? What's happening?
So it's like confused. If you're held accountable for your actions.
I was at the grocery store when I got that notification. Everybody
they're like, yo,
crazy.
You got the notification. Why you out here?
Fucking world, yo.
That must be wild, like being in the grocery store, like around a lot of people and everyone just getting
everybody got it. Same exact time.
No, actually, this is kind of off topic, but do you guys remember there was a thing like a couple years back where Hawaii, like the residents of Hawaii got an Amber Alert? Well, their version was about a missile attack.
I can't remember.
Yo, you don't remember that? Yo,
nah.
Yeah.
I remember something like that. Yeah.
Yo, look it up right now.
Yo,
Something like that. Yeah.
It was a thing, bro. Like they're like incoming ballistic missile.
Yeah, I remember that.
What?
And then everyone was like,
I was so bummy. If I was
it was a false
missiles.
It was a false alarm, and then but it was, I don't know. It's just a weird thing that I just.
That's a serious false alarm, bro. That's like a head fake and a half.
Imagine being at the grocery store or something
And getting that message,
Supposed to be incoming, like
I'm like, hold on. I'm about to die? What?
Like how much
you
time?
know so you're about to get dead off. It's like, come on now.
Say you had
Start smacking the shit out of
30
You know what I mean?
till whatever missiles or fucking COVID bombs like rain down on us. What would you do within that 30 minutes?
I'd fly knee the first person that I see. I'd hop in the first whip and go GTA for like 10 minutes.
Sounds
And then, you know, Oh, I'm going to get some popcorn for the last, 2 minutes and love me some popcorn.
Some popcorn so you can watch the world burn.
Yeah, you could walk backwards while I'm doing it, while I'm eating popcorn, and say peace to my fams and everything, Chris.
That's pretty legit.
It's a hectic 30 minutes, but I can make it work.
I don't know, Raga, what would you do? 30 more minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes, bro.
Tell my family I love them, and then I would go lace up and play hockey. I'd go break into the fucking like Powerade Center or CAA Center, whatever.
Powerade Center, I was saying, like go to like the
whatever. It used to be formerly the Powerade Center. Now it's the CAA Center. I would just go there and just play, like skate one last time.
Yeah,
honestly. Like
shout out to Omari.
J-Rod, what would you do, bro?
Honestly, I'd go say what up to family, go say bye to family. Then I'd probably do drugs or something.
Go do some drugs.
Do some drugs. Like pretty easy.
Better just play Warzy.
Drugs.
Can't even hate on
Double
that.
up on all the drugs.
That's probably something I would do too, man.
This is so hated. I do all the drugs I've never tried before.
Just take bare drugs and go play Warzy.
Holy shit. Real life wars. You just look outside and just like, going crazy. About to see some missiles, fam.
But one last note about the lockdown or the stay-at-home order. So my sister, she lives in Montreal, and out there in Quebec, it's fucking worse than it is here.
Quebecois.
Whether it be the cases or the rules that they implemented. So apparently they essentially have a curfew. So no one can be out after 8. But apparently she said, I don't know if this is true. I didn't really fact check it for some reason.
Who said this?
My sister.
Okay.
But she said, yeah, you could be outside walking your dog and shit, but like apparently homeless people you find.
Sorry for laughing, but that's so ignorant.
It is the fucking worst.
How are you gonna find a homeless person? Where, like they just have to go to a shelter.
What? That's
I don't know.
ignorant.
Don't ask me. I have no explanation. None of this shit makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yo, men's are out there finding the homeless, bro. How are you gonna find men's with no cash?
Yeah,
You're
it makes no
sleeves
sense.
or something, bro. Like what?
Just seems like a
Put it on
waste
the
of tax
computer, bro.
dollars.
Bro.
What is happening out there, bro? These guys are wilding.
Yo, J-Rod,
Oh, God.
who's the young man on your lap, bro?
It's my little boy, fam. TGR prodigy right here, dog. Gotta get him a TGR onesie right here.
I got you,
For real.
bro. That's cute.
Buddy. Ah, he gave us a smile.
Nice.
Oh, he's
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
miserable right now. He's cheesed. He doesn't want to drink no bottle. He doesn't want to go to bed. So I'm cool. We're not the podcast.
Yeah, he wants to chill with Uncle Rye Guy, bro.
Drink no
Yeah,
bottle.
they got-
We're the podcast.
Put him to work early, bro. Put him.
He's like, yo, what are Mandem saying?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh,
But yeah, Raga, you wanted to mention something? Speaking of babies,
Okay, it's a good segue. So
it just so happened, you see,
I mean, this isn't like a news story or anything. It's
allergy.
the story I'm referencing is from like 2019. But essentially, there's this politician. Some of you may know him, Cory Booker.
No,
Okay, well, he's U.S. politician. I believe he's a
It's not a Corey
Democrat.
Brewer for some reason.
I know Booker T.
Booker T.
Oh, Booker T, that's the one. I'd vote for him.
Booker T. What did he used to say? Didn't he used to say "sucka" like something?
Can you dig it?
Can you dig
Sucker,
it?
that's what it was.
Yo, wait. Sorry, what was the politician's name?
Cory Booker.
Oh, I thought it was Cory Brewer, so I got the fucking dude from.
Dig the ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was like, oh, he's a politician now, no, legit.
Running Court Brewer.
No.
That's the same politician.
So
bad, bro.
Cory Booker, yeah, he's a United States senator, served as a United States senator. He served. He's a lawyer as well. our attorney, whatever. And yeah, so he's an American politician. He came up with his stories from 2019. Colleague at work mentioned it to me the idea when we were just kind of shooting the shit one day. And we like to kind of talk about things that are good for the world and that we think are good ideas because we're marketers. But essentially, we just kind of he mentioned this idea to me, and I looked it up. So essentially, Cory Booker, he wants to create this thing called a baby bond. So this is in the U.S. He wants to create a baby bond for every U.S. child. So on base, essentially, this idea is, when a child is born in the U.S., American citizen born, the United States would put aside, I can't remember if it was $1,000, let's say $1,000, right?
Yeah.
$6,000, $1,000 to $6,000, whatever. And essentially, that money is locked into a fund that's put away and managed by the government. And essentially, it accrues compound interest over a certain period of time. And then by the time that child becomes an adult, essentially they would have access to a like $50,000 fund.
Right.
So that money would be used to either pay for college, which if we want to have that discussion, I don't think college should cost the way it is anyways. So I think that's a stupid idea. But it could be used to buy a home or to start a business, right? So that's kind of the general idea for it. And like we were kind of talking about this idea and, going even further of it, or further down, kind of expanding upon it. And we kind of went down the road, well, what if instead of giving it to them at that point in their life when they just become an adult, because a lot of people when they first become an adult, essentially they're not necessarily mature enough to make a smart enough decision with it, even still, unless they are stipulated to, no, this money can only be used for a house or to start a business, whatever.
Right.
Regardless, what if instead of doing that, you held on to it even longer? You held on to that money, and that money was managed and would compound until maybe, say, they were at a retirement age. So if you think about it, so let's say around 65, right?
Right.
You retire. So maybe that those funds don't become available to that person until they reach the age of 65. And then what they have is a full-on pension plan. Right. Imagine having $1 million as soon as you're ready to retire. Most people can't do that, and that's why a lot of people can't retire.
But the tricky part is, what about those that don't actually make it to 65 though? Does the money just go back to the government for that? They've been hustling off you from the birth. You know what I mean?
So we went into that too, and I don't think I don't know. I don't know what the answer would be to that, to be honest. I don't know what the fair answer for that is, to be honest.
Personally, I think that's a great idea, obviously. I wouldn't rely on the government to implement something like that, obviously.
Well, yeah.
I feel like that's more of sort of your guardian's duty to do.
Will.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like your father or your mother to be like, okay, I'm setting aside X amount of dollars into whatever, maybe high interest account or even like the stock market, right?
Yeah.
And then when they're 18 years old, they can choose to get that, receive it, and use it for however they want, or they can let it accumulate for a longer period of time.
Is this coming out of pocket though?
What's that?
Is it coming out of pocket or out of the government's pocket?
Well, it's taxpayer dollars essentially.
Okay.
It's along the lines of universal basic income.
Basic income type thing. Yeah. I get it. I mean, I don't know. I definitely have to look into it deeper to like weigh out the pros and cons. But from what I'm hearing right now, I feel like it's better if it's managed by family as opposed to
not the government,
by the state.
I would argue to you that not all families are trustworthy. Like I get what you're saying. The government's not trustworthy, but the same thing can be said for some families, man. Some families.
Yeah, no, I get it, but like if you like that, sort of, yeah, I get it. I mean,
a lot of families are torn apart by money.
That's true.
Like in the end of the day.
A lot, like I feel like there would be a huge discrepancy if it was up to the parents as opposed to a government mandated thing. So yeah, that does make sense. But
so that's the point I was getting to too.
In argument of letting it accrue until a retirement age.
Yeah, or maybe certain milestones in your life. Like I like your idea saying you have the option. You can take this money now.
Yeah.
Or you can wait till you reach this age or you hit this milestone or whatever, and then you can access the funds then.
Right. Just because
then,
like
again.
If you wait, the longer you wait, the more risk there is of I don't want to say economical collapse, but that kind of shit does happen. Like especially if you look at today's fiat, like the US dollar is just plummeting compared to other currencies, right? So you also have to take into consideration like inflation rates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you get to the root cause of it and educate children and parents from an early age about finances, all those issues can pretty much be avoided, right?
Yeah.
They can be like, instead of investing.
What about like for like? Oh, my bad. What about like people that come from other countries and stuff like that, like our folks? You know what I mean? Would they have the same access to and or like maybe they can't manage money as well as other families can? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Exactly. Right. There is already a disadvantage from coming from somewhere else, like a third world country to a first world country. But if we really were so adamant about putting our taxpayer dollars to work, we'd really focus on financial education from the get-go, you know?
Yeah, 100%. There's literally where our conversation went next to that, in that, well, the real responsibility is on the system itself to educate people on these matters so they'd be smart enough to do it themselves rather than have the government hold their hand. But as I'm sure will go down, is that doesn't suit the government's purpose, because if we don't need the government to hold our hand, why would we listen to their advice?
Exactly. Like if you look at someone like Omari's age and his generation or a few generations after him, if they start implementing that in schools as opposed to useless ass shit, then it'd be friggin' light years ahead of other generations, right? They'd be free thinkers. They'd be, I'm presuming that the success rate of people's lives would vastly improve because of that. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like Switzerland.
It would create an entire generation of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, in a sense. It would definitely generate much more wealth.
Yeah.
And then people could just choose whatever they feel like doing with it, you know, whether it be being an entrepreneur or being a doctor or being a musician or an artist or whatever. It doesn't matter. Sky's the limit.
Setting the foundation for family wealth and starting.
Exactly, because if you look at it at the deeper cause, like a huge reason why people don't pursue their passions for a lot of times is because they can't financially do it. Right? They're just they don't. Assuming that we're talking about Canada, right? We're not talking about other third world countries, but in Canada, in particular, we have more access to so many other things, but a lot of people still can't do the things that they need to because there is poverty, there is financial illiteracy, and there are hindrances in the system, whether it be the color of your skin or, you know, the languages you speak or whatever. Unfortunately, it's like that, and you know. But yeah, I do think a baby bond is a good idea. I talked about, I don't know if I mentioned this, but one of the books I'm reading is called The Richest Man in Babylon.
Cheers.
And the richest man in Babylon actually talks to one of his followers about when his son is born, he should set aside X amount of pieces of silver. And then when he's, you know, after 20 years, it's his choice to take it or let it accumulate even further so that it gains compound interest.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's literally been an idea since
back in the day.
Which is why you have no confidence in it happening, right?
I don't know. It's not that I don't.
History
have confidence.
repeats itself though. A lot, so you
I
never
don't.
know.
I don't have confidence in it happening. I'll be honest.
It's just.
I mean, this is the U.S. I don't see it happening in Canada either.
The government's too greedy, bro.
Well,
I mean,
it's
Europe.
it's literally just look at the fact. It comes down to education system. The education system decides to program people in a certain way, and if you look at the facts, they don't want to teach all individuals financial literacy, only those that are interested in financial literacy, because those people will eventually grow up to run
But
the
how do
so-called
like
system.
it's like how do we even know if we're interested if we don't get a taste of it type of thing? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, you're required to take things like math and
Yeah, but is that
fucking
I need
English
math,
and
is algebra important as learning about interest rates or taxes or
that's essentially what I'm saying.
income and stuff like that? You know,
Mhm.
so it's just
Like what do you think is more important for someone to learn? Poetry or financial literacy?
Financial literacy.
I think I actually think there's space for both of them.
Well, obviously, yes,
You
but
know,
I mean, yes,
it shouldn't be one or the other.
I'm not saying eliminating the arts. I'm just making the point that you have things that are required for people to learn about. And and if you compare some of the things that people are required to learn about with some of the things they're not required to learn about, you're like, that doesn't make sense.
Right, but you also have to compare apples to apples, right? It's like you can't really compare financial literacy to poetry type of thing. You have to compare financial literacy to something it's similar to, like, I guess
Quadratic formulas.
parabolas and shit. I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Or like, wood shop instead of stools. Like, oh, here's how to learn how to make a stool, but we should be learning the basic foundations of a household, like how to maintain a household or something like that.
Yeah.
Something useful,
That makes sense.
something practical. Sorry, something practical.
No, yeah, that's essentially what I'm saying,
Like,
right?
Instead of, you can make the argument where there's Catholic schools and stuff like that, and they indoctrinate with religion. I kind of hate to use the word indoctrinate, but
Well, I mean,
like, why not, instead of just playing like saying prayers or something, teach about meditation and spirituality, all that stuff. It's like they're missing all the shit that we should be taught from such a young age, that we have to discover in our adult lives, and then it sort of sets us back. But that's part of the journey of life, right? The self-discovery.
Well, I'm pretty sure we talked this. I don't know. I don't remember if we talked about it just in person or it was on the podcast, but we were talking about. This was before we kind of talked about how we kind of grew over 2020 when we closed it. We were talking essentially about how life is when you become an adult. You have to do so much unlearning. You have to unlearn so many bad habits and certain processes in which you were kind of trained to do things are not necessarily the right way, and then you have to kind of unlearn those bad behaviors that you were kind of programmed with, and it can be a struggle for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, unlearning is probably one of the hardest things to implement in your life. Like, if you've been taught or shown a certain thing for so many years and it's flipped completely upside down, but it's essentially the correct thing, a lot of people have a knack to refuse it or to deny it.
Yeah,
it's human nature. You can't really blame us for that.
This is what it is.
But yeah, I mean, unlearning is it's probably one of the largest proponents of growing as an adult, especially our age group, our generation, where we've lived through our 20s type of thing. So we've experienced a lot. But at this time, we're just trying to apply it, to these certain things, and then fall on the right path.
Yeah.
And then the end goal is whatever your end goal is, right? It's different for everybody, but
that's true.
Feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I seen this clip of like Tracy Morgan I think it was from back in the other day, and he was just preaching like the reason why he's successful is patience.
Yes.
You know, he's like if you want to know something, he says be patient. He's like if you're going to meet a pretty girl or whatever, you know, you don't have to ask her a million questions. Be patient. She wants to tell you everything. Like people want to tell you everything.
It's true.
And
people
they
love
will.
to,
You just have to be patient.
Yeah. Patience, consistency. I think since we're on this topic quickly, like one of the major talking points about that in self-discovery or getting good at something or finding success is to seek out discomfort.
Yeah.
When you're in unfamiliar territories, that's when you have the chance to adapt and really experience different things. Whether that be something as small as trying to lose 3 pounds or fucking, it could be as large as starting a business or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like humans are naturally afraid of discomfort because discomfort leads to failure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be successful at something worthwhile overnight.
I think humans are essentially, I'm trying to think, humans desire pleasure, I think, overall, most humans.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of it has to do with dopamine and stuff like that, dopamine responses. But
yeah, and essentially what you're saying is people don't want uncomfortable situations. They don't want pain. They don't want to experience pain. It's the reason why we pay, you know, for services, right? That we don't necessarily need, but we don't want to go through the pain of doing certain processes manually.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It's just like it's easier to take a pill to help you lose 5 pounds than it is to exercise and cut calories, right? It's just we usually tend to look for a shortcut, but the shortcut usually is
not the right
way to go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like all these girls that are making all these different like body changes, all these plastic surgeons and shit like that.
Yeah.
In the long run, that's not even a good look. You're gonna see when you're old and shit, that's gonna look terrible on your body.
And like I get where you're coming from too. It's like, especially, it's weird because as a man, obviously we can comment about it, but at the end of the day, it's their choice, right?
Exactly.
It's their prerogative.
Exactly.
If they feel comfortable and confident for those changes, why not?
Go for it.
100%.
Go for it. But there's always a repercussions for the shortcuts, you know? There's always how it works.
Exactly. That's like usually, that's like everything, right? But
yeah.
But yeah.
You know, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yo, Sammy, what are you saying, bro? You live?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you kind of
delayed though.
Dipped out for a bit.
You dipped out for a bit, yeah.
Yeah. I came back.
Everyone's dipping. Him and J-Rod.
Yeah, I'm off.
Everyone was cutting. There was like, this episode's boring.
They're like, yeah, I don't want to hear it. Go talk.
I definitely want my inputs in there, but you know, it's a little bit delayed, you know.
It's all
That's all it
good.
is, B.
Oh, that's light. That's light.
It's all good.
Don't kill me.
Let me pose a question. And I got this inspiration from Instagram, one of our followers, Jessica, because she's trying to settle this debate with her partner, which is my cousin, Dr. Don. And the question was, when someone says MJ, right, do you think of Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan?
Oh, definitely Michael Jordan.
That's what I said.
Michael Jordan.
But the thing is, like, the majority of the votes were Michael Jackson. It's weird. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it's all perspective, right? Like if you were more leaning towards like sports growing up, that's who you kind of lean to. But if you're more of like I guess the artsy type or whatever it is, you're gonna lean towards Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from, but like personally, I grew up with both in my life.
Facts.
And I always referred to Michael Jordan as MJ and Michael Jackson as Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like you have to say the full name with that guy.
Michael
right?
Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Like Mike Tyson.
It's a star's name, man.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just thought that was a quirky little
No, yeah, I
thing. I'm all out of ideas.
Ask
David, is
MJ.
what I'm trying to say.
Yo, so when it comes down to MJ, man, have you guys been seeing what's going on with basketball nowadays?
Harden.
Oh my goodness, that was a big trade. But
Yeah.
honestly, I wonder how long the NBA is going to be even around for right now. Because I feel like they have to do a bubble again, don't you think?
yeah.
Yeah, everyone's getting injured. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's not injured. Everyone's getting
Kobe.
If no one's really even, you know what I mean? It's like everyone's just doing their own thing freestyle. They kind of want to, do a little, oh yeah, let's do a little fist bump, let's do a little wash our hands and stuff like that. But then you're going out and doing this, and this with random people,
Yeah, it's very contradictory.
They're not being
Exactly.
disciplined, basically.
Yeah, well, I get it because they're superstars and all these guys are getting paid big money, but like at the same time, there's a responsibility you have. You're getting paid this big money for a reason. Right.
But also, ironically, if they get sick or whatever, then they can't play, then they can't generate money. So
Exactly.
it's like you
It's
feel like all the players want out of the bubble, but it makes them more at risk to interacting something.
Exactly.
And then therefore they can't play, right? I don't know.
So what I was thinking is like, for example, what if they said, okay, well, those who are outside of the bubble, instead of being fined, it would take off your wages. Instead of just getting like that one fine, for that time that you're out, it's going to be deducting from your wages each game. That's going to be a real hectic blow to a lot of these players if you think about it that way. Because you're out for quarantine for 2 weeks because you did some stupid shit, and each game that you miss, maybe like probably 5 or 6 games within those 2 weeks, you're gonna find stupid cash.
Is that what they're doing?
To relax. No, I'm saying like imagine if they did something like that.
They could.
I feel like the players could understand like, oh shit,
I mean, that would definitely, if you start fucking with their pockets, yeah, maybe they would start being a little bit more responsible.
This is the same argument as what we're in, and we're just normal people, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, how you tell a baller who's been like pampered his whole life basically because he's that guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yo,
like,
stay home.
Right.
You start going to a strip club, just making it rain everywhere.
It's like the same thing with us. Like if I want to go for a walk at 10 p.m. at night to help me go to sleep that night, but I get fined, what kind of shit is that? I'm out here at my own risk. Why are you trying to take my money type of thing? Like,
Yeah.
But like for that, I think what they're saying is like if you're walking around in an area that's not in your ends, so like you're just randomly in Scarborough walking down the street and stuff like that.
So what?
Like, yo, take this fine, bro. What you doing?
But so what?
Should be in person. I get
So what?
it.
Look at the people enforcing this, right?
Yeah.
The boy dem. How many people do they come into contact with on a regular night if they're enforcing it so heavily? Are they practicing what they preach, what we're supposed to be preaching, or what we're supposed to be doing? Like, it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense.
This is the scary part. So like at the end of the month, you know how they have their little quota and things like that, right? So it's like, yo, our man's gonna get bare fine just walking outside at the wrong time.
Essentially.
So it's just like essentially our situation that we're in right now is sort of like a microcosm of the NBA bubble
Yeah.
idea. It's essentially this is the same thing.
And I was watching this,
They just make
trade.
more.
It's true. This trade, doesn't it seem a little bit fishy to you guys?
The Harden
I don't know
trade.
if you guys would take it in. Yeah, because like this is my theory, dog. So this is what happened.
Okay.
Conspiracy alert. Conspiracy
So
alert.
so mans are like, yo, Kyrie, just go do your things for a bit, bro. Just go away from it. Just do your things. Just cut. Don't say nothing. We'll see you, Justin. Don't worry. He's like, oh, okay, I'm Kyrie. So he goes do his things. And after, look, you see Rockets like, you know what? We kind of want Kyrie, but not really, because this guy's not even like, even a normal person. He's just
Not even out here.
This guy that play. We'll just take Karis LeVert and Jared Allen and switch him around.
Yeah.
And then Kyrie hears is like, okay, get my nigga Harden. Okay. I think that was the setup the whole time. Him going away so they could just, not want Kyrie. And then after now that Harden's there, Kyrie coming true. Watch. In like a couple of games, he's going to be back. Like, what's that looks bad? I'm back, though.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense, man, because like from what I know, Harden hasn't been performing like how Harden performs. When
He's getting fat.
that's because he's in Houston, right? So they're like, okay, we're not making any. We need money. We're not generating enough views. So let's fucking. Who cares what happens? Let's just move him. Maybe he'll provide much more entertainment than he does in Houston, and therefore, everyone's
paying
happy.
more money too, right?
I just feel like it was forced.
Like, why are we gonna pay this guy right now? He's not even playing that hard.
But are you surprised, man? Like all this fucking professional sports all of it is rigged. So why are you surprised?
Yeah, you're right. I'm not surprised. It's some shady business, but it's like it's so ignorant how they make it so blatant in the NBA. Like, you know what? Let's just you know what Golden State when they became super chins is like, come on, bro. It's like what's happening over there?
Yeah,
I guess that's how ball is, you know.
I feel like it's either there's more people woke or they're just not giving a fuck anymore, because that applies not only to the NBA but literally to our everyday world, like what you see in the news and shit like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, did you see something about there's some place that was getting incorrect COVID tests or some shit like that, saying they're positive but they're actually negative? I was reading seeing some article about that. Like, that's so ignorant. You know how jeez IBF man said, yeah, you got COVID. And like, I'm just kidding, bro. You don't even got COVID.
Yo, apparently,
like what?
The PCR tests, the nasal swab that they conduct, are notorious for producing false positives.
That's wild.
But if you look into it, don't search Google. Use a different fucking.
Google's like, don't worry about that. Everything is blessed, man. Those are lies.
Search site, whatever, like DuckDuckGo.
Ask Jesus and shit.
Ask Jeeves. Log on.
Bring him back from the dead.
DuckDuckGo is good. Use DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
Alta Vista.
That said Alta?
I don't even remember that shit.
Holy.
I can't tell if Sammy's frozen or if he's just like
frozen.
cheesed right now.
He's cheese, bro.
He's got like resting bitch face on right now.
Wow. Holy.
Oh man. Yeah, he's definitely frozen on us.
Hi, bro.
He's not moving, but I hear him.
Oh, he texted us, but my
What'd he
phone's
say?
on silent.
Said, yo, I ain't snitching on the text.
But
No, I feel bad. He cut.
yeah, well, he cut like 5 times already, but
Oh yeah, but if he cuts for good, I don't want the last thing I said to him to say he looks like he has resting bitch face.
And he's like, yeah, I'm off this.
Yeah, he's like, this guy hurt my feelings. I'm cut.
he's part of the team, yo.
I
He's
know.
part
I
of-
love Sammy. Sammy's
Okay,
coming
we
back.
got a
Please.
substitute, yo. We got Amari and substitute a fucking.
I lie.
Nah, Mario's teething right now, so you know. He's cheese.
We know.
He's cheese.
He's had enough of everything.
Yeah.
He had enough of A, he had enough of y'all, he had enough of V.
Sick of
Probably.
these niggas. Sick of you too, nigga. Sick of everything.
Yeah.
Flip something over.
Man, just wait till he's a teenager, bro.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah, let
Squad
me
DVD.
ask you some. Cheers, bro.
Cheers. Man, they got a drink cost.
Let me ask J-Roz something.
Look at juice.
Oh, juice.
And I don't like.
Yeah.
Man, okay, this is the last time I'm gonna bring up fucking 2020. I swear to God. I promise. But with all this shit going down in 2020, J-Rod, how did having a son affect that?
Bro, made everything better. It slowed everything down.
Yo, Sammy, shut up.
What is he doing?
So yeah, it made everything better, eh?
Yeah.
And it slowed everything down, put a lot more things into perspective.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Okay. It slowed everything down, put everything into more perspective. And kind of just bottles and tape, no?
Hey.
Yeah, his bottle, I got mine. You know what I mean?
Okay, I get the gist of it. But yeah, it must have been a very grounding experience, you know?
That was, 100%. Amazing experience.
I feel like somebody told me this too. There's like an African proverb or something like that. It's like you don't become a man until you have a kid or a child.
I think I heard that somewhere.
TGR 2020.
You heard it here. first. Always.
Ever.
Damn Sosa.
Yeah.
This guy hasn't said anything in 40 minutes.
I mean, he said something like mumbled.
Yeah, while I was talking to J-Rod about something. Still going.
He's doing it. What are you saying? Sammy, bro? You living? Ella. Via.
His water down. Hello.
I don't think Sammy's with us.
Sammy called.
Raga, was there something else that you wanted to touch base on?
I mean, one thing I was gonna say was essentially, whoa, this guy's he's moved to the phone.
The phone.
Jeez.
Phone and the computer.
So I'm removing his computer now.
Nice.
Jeez.
Good job. Good job, moderator. It's all good, bro.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're almost done. So
Yeah, I know, but at least now the man can sign off, right?
yeah.
Okay.
No, the only thing I was gonna say is kind of further to the whole if sports are rigged kind of conspiracy kind of thing. So Amazon, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Amazon essentially
Because of ball team.
they're doing an exclusive documentary series with the Toronto Maple Leafs called All or Nothing.
Oh yeah, I know those ones. Yeah.
So essentially, it's kind of like this. It's the idea of it is like Toronto's made all these moves where they're going all in, trying to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, we lose.
Have they been trying to do that?
They have the longest. I'm pretty sure they definitely have the longest Stanley Cup drought in the National Hockey League.
Has it been like 1968 or something?
It's been like
Bro.
over 70 years.
That's ridiculous.
With
And
trash.
Just call it a fucking day.
so St. Louis won 2 years ago. St. Louis was the only other team that had that long a record close to them. And I think they have one of the longest droughts in all of sports, like globally.
That sucks.
Yeah,
First team
It's,
bro.
it's pretty crazy. But you think Amazon's putting all those resources, and you have the kind of the name All or Nothing. My conspiracy then being, if the Toronto Maple Leafs win the Stanley Cup in 2021, I will 100% believe that sports are rigged, because they would stem to gain.
It's hella rigged.
You don't believe that already? We literally had an episode about it.
I don't know how you can rig the
Hella
National Hockey League.
What? You can rig anything if you really want to, fam.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I missed the
Man,
whole
just saying there's
conversation.
magnets in the balls in the NBA and they turn on the things when you want man's to cook, bro. That sounds like some bullshit to me, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be
right?
I don't know about this. I
Ever
don't know
hear
about
something
this.
called observational bias, bro?
So what do you? What is this? What is this?
You're wearing a Sharks jersey and you're saying the NHL can't be rigged. That's called
Yeah, I mean.
observational bias.
What do you mean?
That
Was
means
that an Ice Cube hoodie?
Oh, because I'm a fan.
yeah.
Because I'm a fan of it.
yeah, essentially, yeah.
Crazy, eh?
That's not what it means. It's because I play hockey. I don't know how you rig a hockey game.
You can rig anything, bro. Whether it be
Yeah,
the
you
refs,
can.
whether it be
Money,
the
bro.
players, whether it be
Money, bro. Money.
Money.
But then
Bro,
there's so many moving parts in hockey because there's so many
Nah.
different players that play in a game. That's the thing.
Bro,
Is
just like
everyone
everything
has
is
to be
government,
in
though.
on it.
What? What do you mean?
And that part wouldn't
Nah.
make sense to me because there's such
There's
a
only like
disparity of
5
wealth.
mans on at one time, fam. We're like the keeper. Now, what are you talking about? There's more mans in footy, and there's bare ratings in
and,
footy.
and,
Yeah,
and
but-
NFL too.
Okay, but
And the NFL,
just
bare
because
mans,
just
bare
because they only
fuckery.
play 5-on-5 doesn't mean there's bare mans on the teams. They rotate shifts. You have
Right,
Yeah.
but that's
four
but
lines
that's,
of
that's,
goal.
that's
Every
besides the
team.
point. It doesn't have to be every man is in on it. It just has to be
Yeah.
the people in control are in on it.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
refs.
It's governed.
The refs. If you have the refs, you have the game. It's as simple as that. Fouls that aren't fouls, cards that aren't cards, plays that aren't plays. You know.
I
Do
think
it.
that stuff happens. I don't know. I like I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I'm saying you can't. I'm saying I'm just saying I don't necessarily
Maybe,
believe that it's happening.
I have another conspiracy. Maybe it's not rigged because it's a predominantly white league.
Sounded like a white thing.
the skin though.
I
How's,
swear.
how's that for observational bias?
That doesn't make any. Well,
It makes all the sense.
I guess.
All the sense.
But wait, I'm also not saying the NBA is rigged either. I'm not
It's
saying
super rigged.
Oh, it's stupid rigged.
Yeah, it's all rigged, bro.
I mean, I think
Vegas got him.
I think it can be rigged. There's been evidence to support that it can be rigged. But
How can you let two white dudes on skates fight to the death, but you can't let fucking two black dudes tap each other on the court? Fine and flagrant.
But what's the? But this is what I mean. What's the issue with that though?
Control.
Control. No, but
Control the niggas.
You gotta see past the field, bro.
But it's looking out for the health and safety of people as opposed to where the NHL doesn't give a shit.
The last thing on sports' minds is fucking health and safety. Please, let's just throw that out the window right now, bro.
I disagree with that because if a player gets hurt, that costs people money.
Bro, do you know how cheese the NFL was, bro, when they're talking about all these brain injury things? They're just like, yo, we're trying to sweep this under the rug. Bare mans are just brain dead in the NFL or whatever. Just go get the ball and go hit some mans. That's basically all it was.
Yeah, but I'm saying
they shed that shit to light and
in the NHL though, essentially they're making a movement to try and make the game. They're always trying to make the game more safe. And
of course,
like
that's
100%.
You're because there's so much backlash.
I totally understand your observational bias, but like the NHL is moving to a point where fighting is going to be essentially eliminated within the next decade, if not.
Yeah, but you can also. They're not going to get rid of a man's fucking coming at you at 50 kilometers an hour on skates and hitting you in the head, bro.
It could eventually become a contactless league.
Really?
I don't see that.
There will still be incidental content, but like
that's basically what
it won't be. I have a feeling that eventually it could potentially get to a point where body checking is not allowed.
Yeah, that sucks.
Could be.
It's the best in hockey.
That's why exactly.
But the reason why they would like to do that is because it would create more offense. The game would. Offense is what sells the game essentially, and if you make it easier for people to score, you will get more offense. Therefore, you will create more interest in the sport. That's my observational bias.
So you're saying you get more defenders are going to be more like attackers?
It's essentially like I mean, think about baseball. The problem with baseball is A, it's way too long, and B, it's boring.
That's like hell. Unless you're drunk and you're there, that shit is dope though.
It's too long, and there's not enough significant offense. They want the game, like they are always trying to do things to make things harder for pitchers in baseball because offense is what sells the game. That's also why now in baseball, and there's the theory of rigged balls, which yes, I agree. Like I'm not saying the rigged game can't be manipulated, but no, like I forget what year it was, but there was like a scandal because a record amount of home runs were hit, like way more than ever, and they had instituted a new ball essentially.
Nobody got that.
Because home runs is what makes the game exciting, right?
So I see some dingers.
That'll sell more tickets, create more interest, more viewership on TV. It's money. So 100%, like, despite my biases and my skepticism of all of it being completely rigged, because I do think there's so much of a random element to it as well that you can't necessarily rig every aspect of it.
Of course, but you can force an advantage.
Yeah,
That's why at the end of the day,
you can create an unfair system, but that doesn't necessarily, but not always.
Everyone's LeBron, fam. See, LeBron can maybe breed an unfair system or something like that, but not everybody can do that, bro.
Right, guy, you look like you're on Sports Center, fucking.
I'm ready to go. Sharks play their season opener.
Yeah.
I wasn't excited for the season at all because Sharks are trash right now.
Dookie Bear. I don't even know them.
They're probably a bad team, but
I don't even watch that, but I know they're shit.
All the divisions in the NHL got changed, so the Sharks are actually in a trash division, so they actually might make the playoffs this year. So.
I actually heard that San Jose is trying to change the Sharks' names, like the team name, to McFish.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I read that.
This guy, yeah.
You can fact check it if you
yo,
want.
I heard about that store.
Check
McFisher.
DuckDuckGo, not Google.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
about right.
You guys are trash.
No,
It's okay.
We're just fucking with you, bro.
Yeah,
I ain't fucking
Any last statements? We'll let Sammy go first since this guy.
yeah. Since he's been quiet.
I was missing the whole episode.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me right now?
Amari made more of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you still.
Amari talked more than you did.
Yo.
Yeah, that's what I want to.
I missed half the conversation. And shit. One thing I want to touch on is just the whole baby boomer thing. Not the baby boomer thing.
Baby bond?
Yeah, baby bond. Yeah, that.
Better late than never.
That's a good idea. Yeah, better late than never. I do agree that's a good idea. Going for Rick Sports. I definitely agree that Vegas got their that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going back to all this.
Well, this guy's going through the whole episode.
Yeah. I appreciate TGR for everything. Love my brothers. Salud. And
Yo,
tune in to Lost and Found.
Yes. What was the IG one more time for the people?
Run that back one more time.
Dot found dot podcast.
See?
No dot.
Okay. Lost and Found podcast. Looking forward to
Yes, sir.
listening to that shit. I love that kind of content, man. That's my kind of shit.
Yo, you'll see Nico on there too, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dr. Don, shout out to Dr. Don. Shout out to J Bills, Rod guy, J Rod. You know what I'm saying? Family ties.
Yeah, I see.
Yes, sir.
Any last words, guys? Your
I mean, you know what episode's coming to an end when J Rod's putting his do-rag on.
Yeah, that's true. That's his closing statement.
Yeah.
That's how you know. It's crazy, dog.
That's how you know it's a close up.
That's what
I rate it hard. Bills, anything you want to tell the people before we sign?
Yeah, everybody keep up with that goodness, keep up with that love, keep up with that good mental health, and we gonna get through this just now, and everything will be crisp, and everyone's gonna make their money, and everyone will be blessed, dog. Don't worry about that.
That was
just
a very powerful message. I rate it.
Let the man's know,
Be sure to catch us on TGR on Instagram. Which is I don't know why I always forget this. TGR _905.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah. Thanks. And we literally got all our content on there. Like, just hit up the link tree in the bio, and it's got all our things there. Check out episode 38, which was last week's episode on Spotify. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify.
And check out TGR905.com.
Exactly. And hopefully, if you guys are fucking with this, let us know, and we'll try to push out more content on the weekly.
On the wiki.
All right.
And them.
All right.
To the world out there, don't know.
But on that note, stay safe.
Be well.
Stay vigilant. Peace.
Stay up.